post in a while, but I'm back. Since this coronavirus stuff been going on, everybody's been home. School is canceled, but of course I still have to work. I am an essential employee, so I still have to work. But my workload has been extremely light, so I took this time out to make a video. So today is March the 24th, and I'm just home drinking some wine. So I thought, why not make a video? So I saw a lot of comments on the last video that I posted. So I'm just gonna answer you guys questions. So first I'm gonna say that I live in Washington D.C. I go to District of Columbia, UDC University. So I saw a question asking like, how do you get into mortuary school and how much does it cost and stuff like that. So okay, for DC, it was easy for me to get in school. I just applied online. I got accepted. I applied for financial aid through FOSFA, and I got accepted. So basically, I don't pay for school. Everything is free for me. I get book vouchers. Everything is free for me. I don't know how it is in your state, but because I live in DC and I go to the school of DC, most District of Columbia residents can get grants for free. So I didn't get any student loans that I have to pay back. I got grants. So once I'm done with school, I don't owe any money. The only thing with FOSFA and the grants, you have to keep your GPA up. I think it's like you have to have at least a 2.7, and you have to take a certain amount of credits each semester, you have to be completing school in a acceptable time frame. Like it can't take you about 6 years to get an associate's degree. They want you to be like making progress each semester. And also, if you fail one class twice or more, FOSFA won't pay for it anymore. You have to pay for it on your own. And that's kind of what I'm going through now. So also I saw a question. Just how did I get into the program? How hard is my classes? What classes am I taking? So let me start out by telling you guys. Like I said, it was easy for me to get in. I got accepted. I started in DC. You have to do the prerequisites classes first before you have to complete your prerequisites classes, and you have to have at least a 2.7, C's and above. No D's or F's are accepted. You have to complete all your prerequisites and then apply to the program and get accepted into the program. And to apply to the program, you have to have your shot record has to be up to date. You have to have a 2.7 or above, no D's or C's. You have to write an essay. You have to do an interview with the program directors. And what else? I think that's kind of it, and then you get accepted into the program. So for me, as of right now, I'm still doing my prerequisites. I am on my last prerequisite this semester. I am applying this semester, and I should be in the program starting in the fall. But since this coronavirus is going on, I don't know how that's going to be. And also for my school, they allow me to, even though I'm not officially in the program, my major is in mortuary science, and they allow me to take some mortuary science courses. So yeah, and so I saw people asking what's the hardest class that I took in so far, and the hardest class that I took in so far is anatomy and physiology. Is a lecture and lab. The class is so hard. I'm not even gonna lie. This is a class that they say is failed internationally all around the world. Like people fail this class all the time. I went from having all A's and B's, never felt the class, to when I took this class, I'm just stuck. The first time I took it, I didn't really like my professor. He didn't really explain it to me. He didn't really break it down. He taught it as if you already knew it, which I didn't. And then the second time I took it, I mean, I liked that professor kind of better, but he was a doctor and he taught it as if we were doctors, and I was doing good, but then I wasn't focused. You have to be focused when you're taking that class. I had a lot of family issues and I just wasn't focused. So I'm taking it again for the third time. But the good thing about my school is if you fail this class, they give you an opportunity to come back and take it in a boot camp for free, so you won't have to pay for it. So I'm taking it in the boot camp this semester with the same professor that it was the first time that I took it, and I'm actually passing it. This time I know the work. This is the third time. Like, I'm familiar with the work. I have all my notes from the previous classes, and I feel like I'm passing the class. So hopefully this coronavirus don't get in the way of me getting into my program. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm applying. I'm getting all my shot records and medical records together. I guess you have to have all of that to make sure that you're in good health, to be in the embalming lab, to be, just around all those chemicals. I have been in the embalming lab, as I told you guys in my other video. I took a class, Introduction to Funeral Service, and it was actually held in the embalming lab. Like, it was the embalming lab, and then there was the classroom. So every day we would go in the classroom, and then sometimes we would go in the embalming lab, and she would show us, like, my professor would show us, like, just different stuff, the formaldehyde, the eye caps, like different stuff. And then in the embalming lab, it's another room that has like a makeshift funeral parlor type vibe. It had a casket, it had like an urn and different things that we had to learn about for funeral service. We learned how to fold the flag for like veterans. We learned the different parts of a casket, which was very hard. I had to study that. We learned just about different religions. I had to do an essay on Mormons and their funeral rituals, which I never heard of Mormons before this class, so that was very interesting. And then and then it's a hallway, and it goes back, and then back there it is a morgue. It's a freezer and a morgue. It's kind of small, and that's where they keep the cadavers. People donate their body to our school and as the cadavers, and those are the bodies that they use for embalming. Once you're in the program, they embalm bodies every, I think, Thursday or something, and all mortuary science students are welcome to come to the embalming to watch through the glass as they embalm. Of course, you can't record with your phone or anything, but you can come and just get that experience and just to see if this is something that you really want to do. Because a lot of people say, oh, I want to do that, but when they actually see it, people faint, they throw up, so I would recommend anybody to see if they can just sit by or go into your school, witness the embalming, getting connected with your local funeral homes, just see what you can legally do to make sure this is something that you want to do. Also, I'm trying to think of the questions that I was asked. So for people who want to know how do they get into the program, it all depends on your state and your state rules. For my state, Washington, D.C., I can pretty much explain to you guys. You have to go to an accredited school, do your prerequisites, get accepted into the program. It's a 2-year program in D.C. It's not required that you get a bachelor's or anything. It's a 2-year associate's program in D.C. You get into the program, you complete your 2 years. In the program, you do a practicum where you will go out to funeral homes, get experience, and sometimes the funeral home will hire you permanently. And for my school, it's kind of a requirement that once you're in the program, you have to dress up every day. You have to wear dress clothes, with some exceptions, because I come straight from work to school, so I will have on my work uniform when I get to school. So I'm sure that they will accommodate me, because it's kind of hard for me to change when I'm rushing to get to school as soon as I'm off of work. But yeah, my school, they require all students to be dressed in funeral attire, suit and tie for females, maybe a jacket, some slacks. Just that's the requirement. And people ask, is it hard? No, it's not hard. It's not hard at all. The only problem that I had was the anatomy and physiology class. It was really hard for me. Like, it was really hard. And also, I don't understand why we need this class, because they're teaching you about all the body functions. You need to know every bone in the body, every muscle in the body, the veins, the heart, like blood. You need to know so much for this class, and it's not even. Granted, some of that stuff you need to know, like the arteries and, for embalming purposes, but some of that stuff we do not need to know, like, but it's a requirement. And I was told that for my school, they're working on just doing the anatomy part, so we will only be required to know like organs and bones and the stuff that we need to know. So they're working on that, but it won't be in effect until probably when I'm already graduated. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And my plan is to get into the program, continue going to school and working. And once I graduate with my mortuary science degree, I plan on going back and becoming a licensed funeral director. Which you don't have to go back to school to become a funeral director in DC. All you have to do is just take a test and become licensed. After you have your degree in mortuary science, you pass the state board. I don't know, I think you have to wait a certain amount of time, get a little bit of experience, and then you go back and for state licensing, and you take whatever required test it is for funeral director. That is my plan. And I also plan to become do like some online classes to be able to do cremation. They have that available online in DC. A couple of my classmates did it. I plan on doing it, and just to have that experience. And also okay, let me tell you about this. Let me take a drink. I recently had a job interview with a funeral director. I went in the job interview. I was so nervous. I was sweating all over the place, and they actually hired me. But I ended up not doing the job. But the job was at a funeral home, and I was basically going to be the funeral assistant. I was supposed to drive the hearse, assist with all the funerals, paperwork, just anything as an assistant at a funeral service. But the thing about it is it didn't align with my schedule. It was an on-call job, so it was not a permanent position. Like, it was just on call, so they call you when they need you, which could be any time. And as I said, I work and go to school, so it kind of didn't line up for me. And so I just been applying places, going to different places, trying to just volunteer, get some experience. And I also have another interview coming up to be a funeral home transporter. I think that's what they said it was. So basically I would, it's an overnight job. So if somebody dies overnight, I will go out in their company van or whatever they have and pick up the body and bring it back to the funeral home. I didn't get all the details, but I'm sure that I wouldn't be doing it alone. Maybe I have a partner, somebody go with me, pick up the body, put it on the stretcher, put it in the van, do whatever is required. I don't know, is it required for a toe tag or an arm bracelet? That's kind of what they're doing nowadays. Transport the body back to the funeral home, do whatever paperwork, documentation, and go home. It's an overnight job, which will work fine with my schedule. I'm just trying to get some experience in. So once I go to that interview and see how that goes, I'll let you guys know about that. And I'm just trying to think what else that I'm going to tell you guys. I don't know, just that I'm very excited. I've been looking up job opportunities in my state. Once I graduate, there are a lot of open job opportunities in the surrounding states, Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Of course, I would have to be licensed in each state that you want to work in. You have to be licensed in. My professor says she's licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia, and I think she said like California or something like that. The licensing doesn't require much, just like some paperwork, signature, and you have to pay a fee. yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very excited. This is what I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm happy that I'm finally making it happen. I'm finally doing everything that I have to do. I'm so proud of myself because it took everything in me to go back to school. I hate school. Like, I hate school. I hate doing work. But that's what it, when people say that you shouldn't pick a career that you really love and it won't feel like a job, that is so true, because I am so interested in this field. Like, I just watch YouTube videos about it. I study it every time I can, and I am 100% sure this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, and I am going to do it. So I encourage anybody that wants to be a mortician, funeral director, go for it. Do it. What's stopping you? You're going to be rich one day. Do it. And my goal is to become a mortician, become a funeral director, and also become a funeral home owner. I want to own my own funeral home. I have looked into the steps that I need to take, the proper licensing. I have got my credit straight. I'm at a 700 plus. So when the time comes when I can write me out a business plan and get me a loan, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not saying like it's just super duper easy, but when it's something that you want to do and you put your mind to it, you will do it. Because I was lazy. I've always been lazy. I always knew what I wanted out of life, but sometimes it just takes that push and something that like you just have to do. You just have to take that leap of faith and do it. That's what I did. I just was like sitting around like, I know this is what I want to do. I looked it up. It's in my state. Like, DC is the only place that has it other than like Baltimore, which is like an hour and so away. DC, literally, the school is literally 10-15 minutes from my house. What am I waiting for? And all it took was me to apply online and wait to be accepted. Like, it's not hard. I know in some states they require you to have a 4-year degree. But thank God that we don't need that here. But if we did, I would do it because this is what I want to do with my life. So if you want to move to DC to become a mortician, do it. Because if you're a DC resident, you're more than likely will get a grant, a Pell Grant, and never have to pay a dime. I'm getting this degree for free. I get grants every semester. I don't have to pay for anything. My books, laptop, nothing. Free. Everything is free because I'm a DC resident and I go to the school of District of Columbia. So yeah. And another thing, the classes, my prerequisites are kind of like just was English 1 and 2, math 1 and 2, which was hard, kinda, but I passed those classes on the first try. I had to take a computer class. I had to take, I don't even remember. I need to see if I can find the paper for y'all. Okay. Here I have the paper. It's kind of messy, but I have the paper of all the classes that you need. So let me tell y'all. For DC, you need first year seminar. So that's just basically like an easy class for 1 credit where you learn about the school and all you need to know. English composition 1, general college math 1, anatomy and physiology 1, lecture and lab, introduction to applications of computer, lecture and lab, English comp 2, general college math 2, fundamentals of chemistry, lecture and lab, funeral service orientation. Those are the prerequisites. And some of the main classes once you're in the program are theories of embalming and disposition, history and sociology of funeral service, descriptive pathology and microbiology, principles of accounting 1, and embalming and disposition principles 1, lecture and lab, funeral service law, small business management for funeral service, and the lecture for that class, funeral service management and principles practicum. The practicum is when you go out into the field and actually work for a funeral home and get some experience. That's the practicum. The restorative art lecture, I kind of saw how that class goes, is when they give you like the human head and you have to make it up and put the makeup on and bring it to life as if you would do a decedent preparing them for a funeral. A restorative art 2, lecture and lab, embalming and disposition principles. 2, lecture and lab, sociology of grief. And then after you take all of those classes, you take the national board seminar. And I guess that prepares you for the national board. And once you pass the national board, you are officially a mortician. You get your license, you're a mortician. You can go out and get that bag. I know in DC and Virginia, I saw jobs on Indeed where they're making $40 an hour starting out to be a mortician or a funeral director. I'm not sure. I know for sure the funeral directors make more. But also, I want to own a funeral home, but I don't really want to work at a funeral home. I do, but then again I don't, because most of these funeral homes are family owned and nobody in my family wants to be a mortician. I am the only one. So from what I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, the family owned businesses, they kind of like, all the employees are family, and the ones that are not family, they kind of don't pay them a lot. They just pay them the minimum that they're required to pay. I want to work for the medical examiner's office in DC. They have a internship program for mortuary science students and other students in the field, in different kind of medical field. And I plan to apply for that and get an internship there. So basically in the medical examiner's office, that's where, if someone dies, that's where they go to get an autopsy. So they do internships with mortuary science students to, I guess, basically, I'm not sure, but I guess you would assist with the autopsy, like doing paperwork. I'm not sure what else you would do pertaining to the body. Maybe, I think they said like taking out the organs and writing the correct documentation, doing everything that has to be done before the pathologist comes in. So I'm not sure, would you be required to make the cut and take out all the organs, or I'm not sure. I have to look more into that, but that's really what I want to do. And currently in my state, they have a job opening for to be the assistant of the pathologist, the one who does the autopsies. And that position has been open for a while. So hopefully when I graduate school, it'll still be available. So yeah. So like this video, subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. I get a lot of views, but I don't have a lot of subscribers. I'm just starting this YouTube, and I'm about to take off with this YouTube. I'm gonna start posting more. I'm just gonna do everything. Challenges, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna take y'all with me to school so I can see the day in life of going to school to be a mortician. Yeah, so subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video with anyone. And I just want to say thank you for you guys who comment, who like, who give me feedback and let me know what you want to see. Continue to do that, and I promise I will answer everybody's questions. And if I don't answer on YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram at Serena Bobbitt. Just DM me and I'll answer any questions you want to know. I can help you as much as I can. Yeah, so we in this together. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna sip my wine for the rest of the night. And yeah, so thank you.